Hey everybody, this is that drummer guy, Josh Ronquist, and I'm here with Jarle from Vreid, who's going to be playing here tonight, opening for Melechesh, and playing along with Lightning Swords of Death here at Povs in Spring Lake Park, Minnesota. How's it going?
It's good, we're in the middle of the tour now. It's been, ups and downs, but mostly a really good tour. Started out well in California and such, so having a good time, and I'm glad to be back here in what we like to call the Norwegian state.
Oh yes. Yeah, Minnesota's a great place, especially for the Viking metal.
Yeah, it has been, and it's, so many people from Norway. I think this actually the largest population outside Norway moved to Minnesota back like 100 years ago, so it's cool to come here and see you can recognize names and such from back home, so yeah, it's a cool thing.
Oh, very much so. So what has the tour been like so far, touring with the bands that you have?
It's been going very well, the bands are getting along really good, and I think it's a strong package and everything, and we have some really good shows like in LA, San Francisco, and Edmonton, Seattle. It's been great shows, so so far it's been a good run.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that too. And kind of like we were talking about before the interview, like I was kind of scared that this show wasn't going to happen, since I didn't hear till last week that the show got moved from Station 4 to here. So I was afraid it wasn't going to happen, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, of course we're glad as well, but it was last thing, and it's a Monday night, so I hope that people can catch up to it, since it's only been like a week or two since they announced that they moved the show. So, but here we are, and let's give it the best shot we got.
If nothing else, I'll be there front row center for you guys. So the new album just came out not too long ago, and I just got to say it's a fantastic album. I was actually jamming on the way over here tonight. How was the writing process for that album?
Well, I spent pretty much like 2 years, ever since we released the last album. I started working on this album, and I've been working on and off it for almost 2 years, This time I wrote a lot of the music outside. I do a lot of hiking and such, Instead of just sitting in the studio writing all the time, I took these with me on my iPhone. I brought pen and paper for lyrics, and kind of spent a lot of time outside to create this album. And I think this has had an impact on the result of it.
I can definitely kind of hear that. I mean, like, now that you mention that, I do kind of hear that kind of like in the background of the music, like it could have been inspired from being outdoors.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And being outdoors is extremely important for me. It's like kind of recreation and get away from it all, so I really like to spend a lot of time outside. So for me, that's an important thing. And I think when I'm out wandering, I do a lot of thinking about my music and ideas for music, so it felt natural to try and actually create it outside a lot more than I've done before.
Oh, very cool. So how has the crowd reception been so far to Welcome Farewell?
It's been really good. The reviews have been fantastic. It's been great all over like Europe and in the States and in Norway and everything. And we've toured Norway, we toured Europe now, and now doing the States, and the reception has been great. So we're just happy about it so far. And it's been busy 3-4 months now. So it's great to be over here, and it will be great to get back home and get a vacation also.
Oh, very much so. And then said, besides taking a good vacation, what are your plans after this tour?
Well, as I said, we're doing a lot of touring last month now. We're going to do a couple of European festivals, and after that, I think we're going to take it quite easy for the rest of the year. Next year, again, there will be touring and some shows, festivals and such, and probably start writing a new material. So for the autumn, we're going to take some time off and do other things, hiking, fishing, hunting, whatever.
Ah, very cool. That said, is there any leftover riffs that was from Welcome Farewell, or anything new that you've been working on that could be for the next album?
Yeah, not really. There was some leftover riffs, but I haven't touched them again, so I don't know if I ever used them. But I've started with some ideas for the next album, and of course it's too early to say what direction it's heading. But I've started to get a couple of ideas, and I guess when I have some time off this autumn, I will start writing a lot of new material. And so I guess at the end of next year again, we will be recording again. As usual, I think.
Ah, very cool. So next year, considering if you guys might be able to tour around here again, what bands would you like to be able to tour with?
The Absence, I guess.
Oh, killer band.
Yeah, they're awesome. This is them.
That's right.
I like that. Nice plug.
Yes, check out The Absence as well if you haven't heard them yet.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
It's been too long since you've been to Minnesota, I should say,
it's been
too.
a real long time.
Yeah. I saw you guys last time at Station 4, and it's been way too long.
Yeah, I think it's been 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
Getting a little sidetracked there, but
We can do an interview next if you want.
sure.
No, there's many great bands out there, so
Oh, yeah.
it's just a matter of finding a band that fits musically and seems to be okay people to tour with, you know. So I haven't got anyone special, you know. Like we toured with Enslaved before a lot, and Europe that could be a cool thing, you know. And there's many other bands, so it depends on the time and situation, who's available and what kind of offer we're getting.
Yeah, and you touched on it too. It's like it's important to tour with bands that you can get along with and have a good tour with as well. Otherwise, it just makes for a really bad tour.
Absolutely, I think it's really important. You know, there's I won't mention names. There are bands that I've considered, but I don't really want to tour with them. You know, so now for me, it's important to try and find the bands that you get along with. You know, living in a tourbus and everything. It's important that they're kind of open-minded and work well together. That's
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing I love about this tour package too. It's like it, even though it is like all in the metal style, it's like it's 3 different variations on metal, which I really do appreciate when it comes to a tour to hear different variety in one night instead of having 3 bands that sound exactly the same.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, it's when you see one band and the next band is just the same thing, then it gets boring. So I think it's good to have a varied package, so to speak.
Oh, very much so. And that said, what kind of music are you listening to outside of touring?
Well, it's the absence, and I listen to all kinds of shit, you know, mostly old stuff like on this tour we've been listening a lot to the new Black Sabbath album and Alice in Chains albums, and I tend to like the old classic bands a lot, you know, 70s stuff. I always listen to Alice Cooper, the early albums and that kind of stuff, so not that much extreme metal, at least while touring, you know.
Yeah, because that becomes overbearing after a while. I mean, you're playing it, you're touring with it, and then you listen to it on the bus. And
exactly. You know, I need something to chill down after the show.
Yeah. And it's always good for creativity to have variations in what you listen to.
Yeah. So after the show, it's find some chilling music, and it's back to that bunk.
So kind of like what you said, is there any other 2013 music you're listening to besides New Sabbath?
I have to check my phone. I forget what I'm listening to. Not much. As I said, lately I've been checking out them and Alice in Chains, and there's a Norwegian band called Shining.
Oh yes.
I've been listening a lot to that album. I think it's really great. And besides, there's a Swedish band. It's from last year, the album, but it's called Year of the Goats, and I think it's going to become a really big band. I love that stuff.
Oh, very cool. I think I'm gonna have to check them out.
Absolutely, yeah. I think they're cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Shining too. That's one of my favorite albums to come out this year.
Yeah, it's a really strong album. I think they're gonna head out for a tour here in the autumn. I hope so. So that would be cool.
Oh, that would be really cool. Yeah, because I don't even think they've played the States yet, as far as I know.
Yeah, only like a couple of showcases or something like that. So I think,
cool. So, was there anything else that you'd like to bring up that I haven't brought up yet?
Not really.
Not really.
It's just good to be back in Minnesota, you know, and we had
very much so.
Had a great stop today at this beautiful store, Kabbalah's.
Oh yes.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Fantastic store.
Only had an hour, you know, and got some new hiking boots and a knife and such, you know, to bring back home. But it was great just to be around there. I love that place.
Oh, very much so. So big, and they got everything that you need there.
Exactly. They got all you need.
Checks in the mail, Cabela's. All right. So just want to say again, thank you for doing the interview. I've been waiting so long to finally see you guys, and even though it was a bit of a drive to get over here, I'm glad it was at a situation like this where the show could actually happen, and I'm looking forward to a great show tonight.
Thank you, man. Thanks a lot.
Yes. And make sure to check out Welcome Farewell. It's one of my favorite albums of 2013 to come out so far.
Sounds like a good choice.
It's been a pleasure. And with ice going down the sink, this is that drummer guy, Josh Runquist. Thank you.
Hello, this is Wolf from Norwegian band Vried. You're listening to That Drummer Guy.